We need to introspect and say, how have I changed? Not how have the people around me changed. Not how have my partner changed, or my husband, or my wife, or my friends, or the people around me. How have they changed? No, you don't look at that. You look at yourself and say, how have you changed? Because let me give you something very logical. Please focus on this and remember this for your future. If you wish to blame others for your problems, if you wish to blame others for your mistakes, if you wish to blame or pin blame or put responsibility onto another person or persons for your disasters and problems and depressions and unhappiness, if you wish to do that, then you must give them control of your life. If you don't give other people control of your life, you can't blame them for your problems. Why? You control your life. Since you control your life, you decide where you go, what you eat, who you stay with, who you shack up with, who you become partners with, who you marry or don't marry or not marry at all, who you choose, and what work you do, and how long you work. If you yourself is in power of choosing what you wish to do and how much and how long or how little, then why is it when things go wrong, you blame others? So very logical. If anything goes wrong with yourself and you wish to blame others, then you must immediately give control of your life to others. Therefore, if they run your life wrong, then you can blame them. Then they say, well, my husband's like that, my husband's like that, my partner's like that. But you chose your husband. You chose your partner. You chose. You chose them, and you chose to stay with them. You chose to be with them. It's your choice. And if you remain with them, that's your choice. So actually, you're in control. Well, I'd rather be alone, and I'd rather be single, and I'd rather do what I want. It's your choice. And I can't do this, and I can't do that because my husband doesn't let me, my wife doesn't let me, my partner doesn't let me. No, you let your partner not let you. You're in control. Some people say, oh, my parents don't let me do this, and my parents don't let. I've heard that many times, especially in the East, where people, even when they're 50 or 60, still live with their parents. To me, it's not odd anymore, because in the East, the thinking is different. It's not good or bad, it's just a way of life. For an Easterner, people who leave their family at 18, that's very odd too. So I'm not going to look at East or West, I'm going to look at it as a point-blank facts. If you choose to live with your parents, then there are rules you need to follow. You have free room and board, free food, you have free care, everything is free. So if everything is free, that comes with a price tag. You see, if you work outside, you're not free either. You're indentured to someone for 10 hours a day. So when you're indentured to 10 hours a day, you follow their rules, their dress code, their office, where you park, whether the weather is nice or not. You got to drive there. You got to be there on time. You got to do your work and produce. So if you got to work and you got to do and produce, if you got to work and produce, you're indentured to them for 10 hours. So what's the difference if you're at home, indentured to your parents for 10 hours? Because the bottom line is whether you work outside or you work at home with your parents, you've got to pay your bills. You've got to pay your commitments and take care of your commitments. But you choose to work outside. You choose to live with your parents. You choose to come under the dominion or domination of your boss. You choose to be under the dominion or domination of your parents. You choose that. So if you say, my boss doesn't let me do this, I can't attend this, I can't do that because I've got to work, I can't do this, I can't attend that because my parents won't let me, don't ever blame them. If you keep blaming them, in the end you will look silly. Why would you look silly? Anyone with any knowledge of Dharma will think deeper and say, no, but you chose that. You chose to live with your parents. You want the freebie. You want the freebie life. You want the easy life. You don't want to go out and work. I mean, there are many more reasons that are justified also. I'm just giving you a general one. That what I say doesn't fit for everybody, of course. Of course not. Everybody's quite unique in their situation. But the point here is you have given control. So if you take control, you have to blame yourself when anything goes wrong. So if your kids come out scary, they don't listen to you, or they become a burden for you, they're a financial burden, they're a behavioral burden, they're an embarrassment, And you've got to work hard and schlep, and you've got to give your life for them. That was your choice. You had those kids. You had those kids, they came out, and they're yours. So you never blame your kids for your problems. Never. You can't blame your kids for your problems. Why? It was your choice. Like my mother had a choice, but she decided to give me up for adoption. She felt she was too young. She felt she wasn't ready. She gave me up for adoption. So that's her choice. As a result, I don't have a relationship with her up till now. That's her choice. So whatever I say or do, my mother cannot blame me because she didn't take control of me. Similarly, if we work for a certain job and our boss is like that, our coworkers are like that, the situation's like this, like that, the hours are like that, the pay is like that, don't complain. Why? If you're going to complain, then you give control over others of what you're going to do, what you're going to earn your living. So if other people tell you how you're going to earn your living, you got to do it. Then when you do what they say and then problems come up, then you say, but you told me. Then you can blame them. So in life, it reflects Buddhism. Buddhism reflects life. In the West, some people like to term Buddhism as a way of life. Of course, it doesn't fit the definition as a way of life, but it's very unique because it can be used as a way of life without saying, I'm officially a Buddhist. And that's the incredible part about Buddhism, is that it can be a religion and a way of life, and both. But actually, it is definitely a way to liberation. So what happens is, if you don't give control to other people for what you do, then don't blame them. Don't blame your husband. Don't blame your friends. Don't blame anyone. If you keep blaming, you will increase anger. You will increase the habituation of looking at things negatively. You will increase the habituation of pushing the responsibility onto other people. So what happens is, blame can only be placed if you have no control. If you have control, you cannot blame.